Now.
Valencia looking particularly vibrant up top with his brace of goals.
Forward by Gay. Snatched back by Blint. Played early for Janssen. On towards Gakpo. And Abu Cisse was taking no chance. What a great sight for the Senegalese to see Ismail Assar hobbling off the back of that knee-to-knee contact with Dumfries. But become excited, if you will, about that face. Cody Gakpo, 23 years old, PSV, Eindhoven, 3 goals in his first 9 caps for his country. He's explosive and exciting, and there will be a moment, believe me, there'll be a moment when he thrills you in this competition. Van Dijk across in front of Dia. Support forthcoming from Diatta. Sabali. Diatta. Beyond Blint, but not beyond De Jong.
Well, he's done well to clear up there, but we've seen some uncertain Dutch defending out there. Virgil van Dijk with Dia breathing down his neck. Gave the ball away.
This way again, Diatta, and here's Boulaye Dia. The drive was from Mendy, and the flag was up.
Can't be too disappointed. The coach, Senegal, Cisse. His team have settled.
One couldn't take it with him. Sabali moved it on. Gay. Sabali. Sarr. To Licks in retreat. Lifted up from behind the byline, as eventually it was established by Sabali, a right full-back who found himself in the inside left channel.
Yes, I don't know how he got there. To get there, he did.
The Dutch form, Senegal's is pretty much as good leading up to the World Cup. Was just one of 13 games in the calendar year 2022, and that was the first leg of their playoff in Egypt. Of course, they turned that round in the second leg anyway, so it counted ultimately for nothing except a bit of angst. Blint from wide, Janssen came short to receive. Nibbled in.
Yeah, denying the Netherlands that passing rhythm. Senegal really hungry to get to the ball quickly. Mendy's good at that.
Hasn't played a great deal of club football in the English Premier League this season, Nampalys Mendy. He's come off the bench as a substitute for Leicester in each of the last 6 games. Diallo caught on it. Driving on here is Gakpo, and he's fed Dumfries. And it's ferried away by a backpedaling Cisse.
That's twice now, isn't it? They got down that right-hand channel. Chance to cut the ball into the box. Twice they haven't been able to find an orange shirt.
Nathan Ake. Blint. Bergwijn on the half turn. De Jong. Blind. Deep towards and beyond Dumfries. Fetched here by Gakpo, face to face with Diallo. Gakpo without swing. Blind! A yard the wrong side.
Yeah, Gakpo made something from nothing here by digging a cross out. Blint's got a chance to attack it. It's a half-decent chance, that.
These two nations do come into this group as the favourites to emerge from it. Senegal colourfully supported with great patriotism and great paint. Senegal 18th in the world, Netherlands 8th in the world. They're separated by Portugal, Denmark, Germany, Mexico, Uruguay, USA, Croatia, Switzerland and Colombia. And the indication, according to that possession statistic, is that Senegal have had just a little bit more of it than the Dutch. Is that the evidence of your eyes?
Yeah, I think they've used the ball better, Senegal. They've settled into their system a little quicker, a little easier than the Dutch.
Sabali. Mendy. Diatta. Okay, did enough, but it's cost him a corner.
Yeah, I think they underhit the first corner from the other side. Very much a man-to-man marking job in there.
Garnegay to take, without swing. Multiple collisions before Blint lifts it away and Bergwijn pursues it.
It's important.
And he has Berghuis going beyond him. And this is Steven Berghuis. And this is Frankie de Jong! No, he pondered. And he who hesitates is lost.
Oh, my word. Why did he not let fly there?
Gakpo out by Cisse. Berghuis. Janssen. Cisse stood strong again. But Senegal have been let off the hook.
Well, it looked like they'd done everything right. Bergwijn holding up the ball in the way that he's got to do without Memphis Depay, and that's a great pick out. He was just never quite under his spell after he cut it inside there, in between his feet. Feels he has to take another touch, and then the chance is gone.
Frankie de Jong, who scored just once in 45 games for the Netherlands. Just twice this season in 17 for Barcelona. Last only a couple of weeks ago against Almeria in La Liga. But maybe, Alan, and you're qualified to analyse this, maybe a player who expects to score hits that first time.
Yeah, it's a striker's instinct, isn't it, rather than the midfielder's one that de Jong showed there.
Dumfries. Almost lost it. Gay. Diatta. Sabali. Real Betis in Spain. Kouyaté, these days of Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League.
Yeah, such a great man to have in your squad, to have in your team, so versatile. Always does a good job. It's turned into a really even contest, actually, hasn't it?
Always had the feel, in prospect at least, of what was likely to be a very watchable game between two immensely confident sides. And here's de Jong. And there was Sabali covering from fullback. De Jong, De Ligt. Sarr tackling back and nibbling at his ankles and costing his team a free kick in a position of potential peril.
Yeah, you sense the Dutch just getting a taste for it now. Starting to click into gear. This is certainly a shooting opportunity if they choose. Could have a go at goal here.
Well, Steven Berghuis is certainly adept from this sort of position. And Cody Gakpo is a fearless, try-anything sort of a youngster. Two-man Senegalese wall. Ake and Blint right at the back of that orange queue, waiting to dash from deep. And Vries in the thick of it, De Ligt in the thick of it. Berghuis nicks it in, and Sarr lifts it partially out.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to try and test Edouard Mendy if you could. He had a loss of form at Chelsea in England. So you'd want to try and test out his state of mind.
De Ligt. Gakpo. Diallo. A hand of apology. Midway point of the half. And here Cisse with much to encourage him. Fine defensive midfield player through the 90s and the early years of this century with Lille and PSG and Montpellier, and then in England, Birmingham and Portsmouth. Berghuis. Line from deep, seeing Gakpo, finding only the gloves of Mendy. Gay. Sarr showed for it. De Ligt was very tight for him.
Yeah, he can't resist those challenges, always goes in on his man. Always likes to get a bit of physical contact into that little contest.
Someone who did a lot of his learning how to defend, of course, at Juventus, where they do defenders. Famous Italian club, now De Ligt, employed by Bayern Munich. Sarr, what a sumptuous take. And he's away from Dumfries. Ismaila Sarr! Van Dijk saw it behind.
Well, appeals for the offside, but yeah, what about that for a bit of skill? Sarr started the game really well. I think this might just have been heading for the far corner had Van Dijk not got his head in the way.
Yay for Dia. There again. Away by Blint. Diatta. Sabali last man back. Diatta. Koulibaly. Away again, this time to Bergwijn. And now De Jong, who has had the outstanding scoring opportunity of the game so far. De Jong. Dumfries against the back of Diallo and behind. So Nathan Ake wanders up from centre half. Virgil van Dijk will join him. De Ligt again in the thick of it. The Dutch leave Frenkie de Jong nearest halfway as their defensive insurance.
Well, Van Dijk always a threat. How many goals from corners have we seen him score? Did it against Belgium the other month.
In by Gakpo. Van Dijk met it and steered it wrong.
Yeah, he's a fair distance out, but he always climbs so well, doesn't he, Van Dijk? Times his jumps well. Surrounded by white shirts, but still he's the man to get his head on the ball.
The last goal he did score in orange was that one you mentioned in the Nations League against Belgium at the back end of September. He has since then scored one of 9 for Liverpool against Bournemouth, but he has left all red behind in favour this month of all orange. And he is their leader. Sabali. Showed a fair bit of adventure from right full-back as Sabali. Here's Diatta. Gay. Diatta. Kouyaté. Picked off by Ake, regathered by Mendy. Diatta. De Jong, oh, that's gone wrong. Van Dijk couldn't retrieve it. Sabali is onto it. Gay has hit it. De Jong's in the way. Kouyaté. Nampalys Mendy. Diatta. Diatta's drive, he's just pulled it.
Well, De Jong always wants to play football. That's what led to this chance, but Van Dijk wasn't expecting it. I think he'd half turned his back on De Jong. De Jong doing the necessary in the end, much to his relief, I'd imagine.
It has been an absorbing contest, and whilst there have been glimpses at goal, neither side has yet had a shot on target.
Yeah, certainly both had opportunities to do it.
The Netherlands have never been beaten by African opposition at a World Cup in 4 previous such encounters, the last of which in 2010 was against Cameroon, which they won 2-1. Blind, Bergwijn, De Jong. Bit heavy for Dumfries. Last time they were at a World Cup, the Dutch opened their campaign with a 5-1 thumping of Spain. Very fondly remembered in Salvador, Brazil, 8 years ago. For the record, Senegal have won both of their previous opening games as well. Poland 4 years ago, and very famously against the French in Korea in 2002. Half an hour in here, and another Dutch free kick. It's time for a foul on Janssen.
Yeah, Vincent Janssen. He's got his work cut out against those 2 central defenders. They're strong, they're quick.
So Mendy's concern once more, Berghuis and or Gakpo. The Dutch have rehearsed this free kick once. Same list of contenders to meet it. Vries amongst them. To play it in, Mendy backpedaling, he didn't get there, and he was glad of assistance from Kouyaté. Sabali's clearance, Diatta, Kouyaté, Sabali, Mendy. Finally, there's an escape route for Koulibaly. He chose otherwise to go back to his goalkeeper and start again. Diallo.
Yeah, not taking a chance that time. Van Dijk previously, he tried to play out with a cushion header. Plenty to jot down for Louis van Gaal.
Whose human story is a very moving one too. You will be aware, I'm sure, that he's been very, very ill in recent years, and his recovery is uplifting. Dia. Sabali. Likely to do no danger to Nopper.
Yeah, an ambitious one now.
Diallo. Dumfries stayed on his feet until he tripped over Diallo.
Yeah, Dumfries has had a time of it on that side. What with Sarr, and this time Diallo coming at him.
And Dumfries into his second season now with Internazionale in Italy's Serie A. Out of the PSV Eindhoven stable. Had a good European Championships, including a couple of goals. Blind. Line sorted out by Koulibaly. Young has it back. Here's Ake. Blind. Bergwijn. Hung up by Blintz, won by Dumfries, held by Janssen. Hooked out to Berghuis, who can redistribute. Blint again. Frenkie de Jong. Got a little flick, an important flick from Cisse, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, Janssen trying to flick it on. But you wonder whether they're just searching for that little bit of quality, the Netherlands, in these situations. Obviously, without Memphis Depay, they do lack in that regard.
Gakpo's take. Koulibaly's header out. Gakpo once more. Face to face with Sarr. This cute header from Cisse. Allows to go. Berghuis. Ake. Left it in by Blind, who is self-admonishing.
Yeah, he would be. You wonder how fit Memphis Depay is, don't you? A little surprised maybe to see him warming up before the game, so he can't be too far off.
Needs one more goal to become the second top scorer in Dutch international history. His form before his injury was frighteningly prolific. Once he can be unleashed on this World Cup, it's hard to avoid the suspicion that he could impact on it tellingly. Foul on Diatta by Ake. Careful with the referee, who showed 2 red cards in his last domestic match before coming here from Brazil. Wilson Sampaio, Ituano against Vasco da Gama on the 6th of this month.
Yeah, Diatta's a handful on that side, but I don't think Ake did too much wrong there.
Diatta, Sabali. Goes Dumfries. Bounce for Gakpo. Cisse. This again. Great poise, had much success with Paris Saint-Germain before returning to the English Premier League with Everton. Famous port city of Liverpool. That's it. Going long, De Ligt is beneath it. Sarr inconvenienced him and might inconvenience him more here. He's just too clever for De Ligt, and here's Dia.
Yeah, it's a good option they've got from back to front with that long ball.
Sarr, who's got a trick. Diatta coming in off the other wing this time. Eventually Gakpo gets a piece of it, and Dumfries moves it on, and Janssen keeps it rolling, and De Jong has plenty of pasture through which to run, and Blind beyond him. De Jong, Dumfries, and Janssen, and Berghuis!
Well, whenever it falls onto Berghuis' left foot, he'll be confident of having a strike. It's bouncing up in front of him. It's not an easy one, but he catches it well enough on the half volley.
Steven Berghuis is having a good goal-scoring season with Ajax, who are second in the Dutch Eredivisie. 7 goals to this point in this campaign, the last of which was a Champions League goal against Glasgow Rangers. Sarr with purpose and potential penetration. Sarr teasing Van Dijk. Lifted out from almost beneath his crossbar by Ake.
It was another long ball, wasn't it? And Sarr wins it against De Ligt. De Ligt's having a tough time up against him.
The referee waited a heartbeat there to see whether advantage for the crew. It didn't. He's kept his yellow card to himself for now, but De Ligt must be somewhere close.
A bit of frustration, I think, within the Dutch defender. But Sarr is a real threat on this side.
A threat and therefore a target. If Senegal last in this World Cup, he will have a pair of bruised chins. He has won the free kick, over which is Idrissa Gana Gueye. Big Cisse is up from centre half, and there is a lot of him. two little agendas in the middle there that the Brazilian referee is having to settle. That's involved, Van Dijk involved. By Trisakana Gay, that's a great disappointment. Flat and readable for De Jong. Sabali.
Yeah, his defenders won't thank him for that. They jogged all the way up the pitch only to see that one under hit badly.
Aliou Cissé and Senegal were progressing in the Cup of Nations earlier this year. They did so actually quite conservatively. They won their group, scoring just one goal. 2 goalless draws and a 1-0 win against Zimbabwe saw them through. And that goal, by the way, was a Sadio Mane penalty. Towards the end of the first half, there have been 11 shots in the game, and just one of them on target for Senegal.
You would struggle to call a winner at the moment, wouldn't you? It is quite evenly matched, really tight.
Dumfries. Bergwijn. By Diallo. They had to hurry to fetch the pass from Berghuis ahead of Diatta. And here is Van Dijk. Into the last 75 seconds of the first 45 minutes, and there is a cheap corner yielded by Sabali, who wasn't communicating with Edouard Mendy behind him.
Yeah, just before half-time too. Might be a nervous end for Senegal.
The final minute of the half.
Well, he got his head to that earlier. Wani will want to be a little bit closer in on the point of contact this time.
And the referee having to lay down the law inside the 6-yard box. Gakpo takes. Looked out as far as Berghuis. Clear by Cissé. Here's Diatta, and Senegal have 3 flying forward here. Dia through the middle, and Sarr through the inside left channel. Dia was the target.
Yeah, it was a difficult ball to attempt, but worth a shot at it just before the half-time whistle. Had to be perfectly weighted.
Into stoppage time, of which 2 minutes. Berghuis, Bergwijn, De Jong, Janssen on the turn. There is no flag, but there is Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, looked like Diallo on this near side had played him on.
Okay, Berghuis. Van Dijk. Berghuis, De Jong, that's nicely manoeuvred. Steven Berghuis, Denzel Dumfries. Dumfries can hang it up. Koulibaly can stick a boot on it. Back in by De Jong. It came off Gay, and he gets a second bite. Johnson not allowing him out. De Ligt, Berghuis, De Jong. Rolled up for Bergwijn. Koulibaly at his back. Swept away by Diallo. And now Diatta.
Yeah, defending pretty well in those situations, Senegal. Most of the Netherlands' dangerous moments have come from that right-hand side.
Sabali. Last act of the half, surely. Mendy. Nicked away from Sarr. Mendy goes in for more. Half-time. It has been, in truth, a really smooth watch. A very competitive game, very, very little between them. A game of opportunity, yes, but clear opportunity, well, only on rare occasion. Perhaps Frenkie de Jong has the most to regret in that regard as we reach the break at the Al Tumama with the scoreline reading Senegal 0, the Netherlands 0.
Well, not much to choose between the two after that first 45 minutes, but a really fascinating watch at Al Thamama Stadium. No goals so far between Senegal and the Netherlands, but being played out in a feverish atmosphere inside the stadium and a high-intensity game as well. That man has not been breached yet, the Dutch goalkeeper Napar on his debut. The surprise selection in Louis van Gaal's
শুরু হলো বিশ্বাস ও আস্থার একসাথে পথ চলা ইসলামী ব্যাংক বাংলাদেশ লিমিটেড এবং নগদ ইসলামিক আপনার জন্য নিয়ে এলো শরিয়া সম্মত লেনদেনের সহজ সমাধান।
আপনি যদি হালাল পথে চলেন তাহলে আপনার জন্যই আছে নগদ ইসলামিক অ্যাকাউন্ট।
নগদে আসলে মোবাইল রিচার্জে 1000 টাকা পর্যন্ত ক্যাশব্যাক, আর অ্যাকাউন্ট খুলতে ডায়াল করুন *167#।
তাছাড়া প্রথমবার নগদ অ্যাপ লগইনে 25 টাকা বোনাস তো আছেই।
হটস্পট দাও না, কল করবো, একটু ফোনটা দাও তো।
এই সবকিছু একসাথে চাও? রবির কম্বো প্যাক নাও। 499 টাকায় সেরা কম্বো প্যাক এক্সপেরিয়েন্স রবিতে।
RFL CPVC Pro Pipe and Fittings, যা পরিবহন করতে পারে সর্বোচ্চ 93 সেন্টিগ্রেড তাপমাত্রার যে কোনো উত্তপ্ত লিকুইড। RFL CPVC Pro Pipe and Fittings, the hot option.
সুক্রোলোজ থেকে তৈরি স্কোয়ারের জিরো ক্যাল চা, পায়েস, সেমাই চলছে নিশ্চিন্তে। আপনিও আজ থেকে বলুন চিনি না, জিরো ক্যাল, চিনি বাদ, মিষ্টি স্বাদ।
ব্যবসার কিছু টাকা আজকে উপায় পাঠাবো একজন, অ্যাকাউন্ট খোলার কথা, কিন্তু জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্রটাই আনি নাই।
কি সিম চালাও?
গ্রামীণ ফোন।
*268# ডায়াল করো। উপায় অ্যাকাউন্ট খুলতে এখন জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্র সাথে না থাকলেও চলে। লেনদেনের জন্য উপায়ই ভালো। ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ মাত্র 14 টাকা।
গ্রামীণ ফোন নম্বরে *268# ডায়াল করে উপায় অ্যাকাউন্ট খুলুন সবচেয়ে সহজে। উপায় অ্যাকাউন্ট খোলা এখন ব্যাপারই না।
পিরিয়ডে কাপড় না, ওকে দিন এসএমসির জয়া স্যানিটারি ন্যাপকিন, কিন্তু দাম একদম হাতের নাগালে। সেরা মানের জয়া স্যানিটারি ন্যাপকিন দেয় সারাদিনের সুরক্ষা। এটি খুব আরামদায়ক এবং কাপড়ে দাগ লাগতে দেয় না। কাপড় ফেলে জয়া আনুন, মেয়েকে এগিয়ে রাখুন। জয়া স্যানিটারি ন্যাপকিন, পিছিয়ে থাকবো না।
স্পেশাল মানুষদের জন্য মজাদার ম্যাজিক মশলা ফ্লেভারে মিস্টার নুডলস, স্বাদ নাও ভালোবাসার।
বসুন্ধরা ফ্যানদের জন্য বাংলা লিংক নিয়ে এলো হাতের মুঠোয় ফুটবল বিশ্বকাপ। ফাস্টেস্ট 4Gতে মোবাইলে লাইভ দেখুন টফিতে।
স্বপ্নগুলো ছড়িয়ে দিতে হয়, একদিন ওরাও লিখবে ওদের গল্প উড়ে যাওয়ার। বসুন্ধরা খাতা, লেখো তোমার ভবিষ্যৎ।
হেলমেট কোথায়? ছেড়ে দেন না স্যার, এতটুকুর জন্য আবার এতটুকুতেই শুরু হয়, শুরুতেই শেষ করতে হয়। নিন, ঘামটা মুছে নিন।
বসুন্ধরা টিস্যু, অশুদ্ধতার বিরুদ্ধে এক বিন্দুও ছাড় নয়।
মাঠে ঘাটে প্রান্তরে হবে প্রতি ঘরে ঘরে খেলা হবে খেলা।
খেলা হবে, মজা হবে, আর খাবার জমবে রুচি সসে। এই তোদের মনে আছে ছোটবেলায় বাড়ি করে সবাই একসঙ্গে থাকার স্বপ্ন দেখতাম?
স্বপ্ন।
একসাথে জমি কিনে বাড়ি করার ঝামেলা জানিস? কে বলেছে? সম্পূর্ণ রেডি প্লট, চাইলে এখনই সবাই কিনতে পারি। কি বললি? চল চল তোদের দেখিয়ে নিয়ে আসি।
বিশ্বমানের নাগরিক সুবিধায় সম্পন্ন বসুন্ধরা রেসিডেন্সিয়াল এরিয়ায় এখন আপনি চাইলেই পাচ্ছেন যৌথভাবে প্লট কেনার সুযোগ। তাই দেরি না করে আজই চলে আসুন পুরনো বন্ধুত্বের নতুন ঠিকানায়। প্লট রেডি, আপনি রেডি তো?
কোমল এবং নমনীয়, তবুও নির্ভরযোগ্য সঙ্গী যে দূর করে অনাকাঙ্ক্ষিত সবকিছু। এসে গেল বসুন্ধরা 3 ফেশিয়াল টিস্যু, সফটনেস, স্ট্রেংথ এবং অ্যাবসর্পশনের 3 লেয়ার।
স্বপ্নগুলো ছড়িয়ে দিতে হয়, একদিন ওরাও লিখবে ওদের গল্প উড়ে যাওয়ার। বসুন্ধরা খাতা, লেখো তোমার ভবিষ্যৎ।
সারা দেশে মায়েদের আস্থার বসুন্ধরা ডায়া প্যান্ট এখন নতুন মোড়কে আরো আধুনিক। বসুন্ধরা ডায়া প্যান্ট, ওর ভালোর জন্য।
ও রতন ভাই, তুমি এমন কি করো যে খামার শুধু বাড়ে আর বাড়ে?
আরে খামারে লাগাইছি আনোয়ার শীট।
তাই মুরগি থাকে সুস্থ, ডিম ও মাংস হয় বেশি।
শোনো, আনোয়ার শীট এই রতনের দিন ফিরাইছে।
মুরগি সবল, ব্যবসা সফল। আনোয়ার শিট।
এখন ফান হবে বেশি আরো। খোলা আছি মঙ্গলবারও। প্লিজ কাম এন্ড জয়েন টগি ফান ওয়ার্ল্ড at বসুন্ধরা সিটি and feel the thrill.
RFL CPVC Pro Pipe and Fittings, যা পরিবহন করতে পারে সর্বোচ্চ 93 সেন্টিগ্রেড তাপমাত্রার যে কোনো উত্তপ্ত লিকুইড। RFL CPVC Pro Pipe and Fittings, the hot option.
বসুন্ধরা এলপি গ্যাস বাজারের অন্যান্য সাধারণ এলপি গ্যাসের তুলনায় দেয় অধিক তাপ, চলে বেশি দিন। বসুন্ধরা এলপি গ্যাস, ভরসা রাখুন, স্বাচ্ছন্দ্যে থাকুন।
চোখ থাকলে কি সবাই দেখতে পায়? ওই এতটুকুর জন্য আর কি। এতটুকুতেই শুরু হয় আর শুরুতেই শেষ করতে হয়। নিন, হাতটা মুছে নিন।
বসুন্ধরা টিস্যু, অশুদ্ধতার বিরুদ্ধে এক বিন্দুও ছাড় নয়।
এই তোমরা আসো সবাই, সাবধানে উঠো। দেখেন স্যার, প্রত্যেকদিন মন কেমন মাছ।
এই খামারের মাংস, ডিম, দুধ আমি সারা দেশে পাঠাই। দেখেন স্যার, এখন সারা বছর ফসল হয়।
সবই প্রাকৃতিক, কিন্তু রান্নার তেল
ওই যে দেখো, বসুন্ধরা ফর্টিফাইড সয়াবিন তেল, শতভাগ প্রাকৃতিক গুণ অক্ষুণ্ণ রেখে তৈরি সয়াবিন তেল। তাই কৃষকের যত্নে গড়া এসব সোনার ফসলও রান্না হচ্ছে প্রাকৃতিকভাবে শুদ্ধতম বসুন্ধরা সয়াবিন তেলে।
আর্জেন্টিনা ব্রাজিল একসাথে হবে চিল, হবে চিল, হবে 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 চিল। জমে মজা ভরপুর থাকলে রুচি চানাচুর, রুচি চানাচুর।
প্রিয় সব দলের মতো স্বাদেও থাকুক ঝাল কিংবা বারবিকিউ অথবা প্রিমিয়ামের ভিন্নতা, কিন্তু সবারই হাতে থাকবে রুচি চানাচুর।
জমে মজা ভরপুর থাকলে রুচি চানাচুর।
হেলমেট কোথায়? ছেড়ে দেন না স্যার, এতটুকুর জন্য আবার এতটুকুতেই শুরু হয়, শুরুতেই শেষ করতে হয়। নিন, ঘামটা মুছে নিন।
বসুন্ধরা টিস্যু, অশুদ্ধতার বিরুদ্ধে এক বিন্দুও ছাড় নয়।
এই তোদের মনে আছে ছোটবেলায় বাড়ি করে সবাই একসঙ্গে থাকার স্বপ্ন দেখতাম?
স্বপ্ন।
একসাথে জমি কিনে বাড়ি করার ঝামেলা জানিস? কে বলেছে? সম্পূর্ণ রেডি প্লট, চাইলে এখনই সবাই কিনতে পারি। কি বললি? চল চল তোদের দেখিয়ে নিয়ে আসি।
বিশ্বমানের নাগরিক সুবিধায় সম্পন্ন বসুন্ধরা রেসিডেন্সিয়াল এরিয়ায় এখন আপনি চাইলেই পাচ্ছেন যৌথভাবে প্লট কেনার সুযোগ। তাই দেরি না করে আজই চলে আসুন পুরনো বন্ধুত্বের নতুন ঠিকানায়। প্লট রেডি, আপনি রেডি তো? হোয়াট আ ড্রিঙ্ক!
স্যার এটা ড্রিঙ্কও নাটা জেলি আর পানীয়র অসম কম্বিনেশন। এটা চাবান পানীয়, নট জাস্ট আ ড্রিঙ্ক।
ড্রিঙ্কো চাবান পানীয়।
কোমল এবং নমনীয় তবুও নির্ভরযোগ্য সঙ্গী, যে দূর করে অনাকাঙ্ক্ষিত সবকিছু। এসে গেল বসুন্ধরা 3-ply ফেশিয়াল টিস্যু। সফটনেস, স্ট্রেংথ এবং অ্যাবসর্পশনের 3 লেয়ার।
দক্ষতা আর অভিজ্ঞতার ঐতিহ্যে খাঁটি প্রাকৃতিক মশলার মিশ্রণে আমরা তৈরি করেছি অতুলনীয় সব ব্লেন্ড। এখন বসুন্ধরা রেডিমিক্সের সাথে আপনার হাতের জাদু মিশলে হয়ে যাবে অসাধারণ সব রান্না। বসুন্ধরা রেডিমিক্স, তফাৎটা শুধু ব্লেন্ডের।
ভিটামিন সির গুরুত্ব বুঝেছে দেশের সবাই। এই শীতে ত্বকের সুরক্ষায় সবার পকেটেই মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি। ভিটামিন সির সাথে ভিটামিন ই যুক্ত হয়ে এখন আরো কার্যকর নতুন মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি।
সারা দেশে মায়েদের আস্থার বসুন্ধরা ডায়া প্যান্ট এখন নতুন মোড়কে আরো আধুনিক। বসুন্ধরা ডায়া প্যান্ট, ওর ভালোর জন্য।
বসুন্ধরা এলপি গ্যাস, বাজারের অন্যান্য সাধারণ এলপি গ্যাসের তুলনায় দেয় অধিক তাপ, চলে বেশি দিন। বসুন্ধরা এলপি গ্যাস, ভরসা রাখুন, স্বাচ্ছন্দ্যে থাকুন।
এসএমসির ইমার্জেন্সি কন্ট্রাসেপটিভ পিল নোরিক্স 1 অরক্ষিত মিলনের 72 ঘন্টার মধ্যে এর একটি মাত্র পিল আপনাকে করবে টেনশন ফ্রি। এসএমসির নোরিক্স 1, এক পিলের সমাধান।
কোমল এবং নমনীয় তবুও নির্ভরযোগ্য সঙ্গী, যে দূর করে অনাকাঙ্ক্ষিত
Gentle introduction thus far to Andries Noppert. Introduction not just to World Cup football, but to international football for the 28-year-old debutant from Heerenveen.
Yeah, certainly not been exposed. It's the kind of debut we would have hoped for, but of course, plenty of time to go here.
Diatta. Sabali. Sabali again. Ake's close to him. Lint's clearance. Kouyaté to touch. Particularly important tournament this for Youssouf Sabali, operating quite effectively at right full-back. He suffered an injury during the first half of last club season and so sadly missed out on their great run to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. So he has things to make up for. Gakpo, Dumfries just overran it, but Koulibaly's clearance bounced off Cisse and behind.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of Gakpo, but a bit of pace down the right led to Dumfries getting involved.
Gakpo will take this corner. Bergwijn offers a short option. Dumfries penalty spot, De Ligt and Van Dijk just behind the penalty spot, and Janssen inside the 6-yard area. In by Gakpo, Mendy came and gathered with great calm and authority.
It's a really good catch, that, under pressure. It's not an easy one for Mendy.
He is the reigning goalkeeper of the year. Rob Mendy, Alan mentioned in the first half quite rightly that the goalkeeping dynamic at Chelsea in the Premier League this season has been insecure. He has more or less shared duties with the currently injured Spaniard Kepa Arrizabalaga. Sabali, cut out by Van Dijk, welcomed in by Berghuis. Noppert's story here, the goalkeeper, is a remarkable one. Only a couple of years ago, he was advised by doctors to retire from professional football because of injury. He was on the point of training to be a policeman. And here he is a couple of years on, keeping goal for his nation in the World Cup.
Yeah, Bergwijn feeling the full force of Koulibaly here.
Ake. Running out towards Dumfries, well seen again by Diallo. Down by De Ligt. Dumfries is strong, so is Diallo. That's a frenzied battle. The Dutch quickly on with it. Gakpo dashing for the byline and winning a corner. Or so he hoped.
Yeah, so he hoped, but signs that Gakpo is maybe settling in to his role here. A couple of good early touches the ball in his second half. You can see why, yeah, he gets the corner.
Yeah. Brief debate, I think, between officials, but they've come up with the right answer. And Gakpo will take. Charging through the crowd again was Virgil van Dijk.
Well, Idrissa Gana Gueye is actually marking Van Dijk, which does look like a mismatch. He completely loses his man, Gueye. You can see there, makes no attempt to jump. He knows he can't get near.
That is one prodigious leap, is it not? He gets up high, does Van Dijk. And as centre-halves say, Alan, once they've got a run on you, it's hard to stop it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Gueye certainly can't compete in the jumping stakes. He's got to disturb him, block his run, just get a bit of physical contact.
Koulibaly. Dia. Mendy. Diallo. Sarr wanted it early, played in towards Dia. Swept away by Berghaus, only as far as Yusuf Sabali. Sabali had a wallop. And it's a cannoned off Blinton behind for what he thinks should be a throw. And indeed it is.
Yeah, Sabali had plenty of space in front of him there.
Dia. Sabali. Shehu Kouyaté. Okay, again, a suffocating presence. There was no room to breathe. On occasion, Diatta has found some oxygen here. Energy from Mendy. De Ligt. Gakpo. Wary and responsible defending by Nampalys Mendy. Van Dijk. Berghaus. Humphries. Gakpo. It's got beyond Cisse, in by Gakpo. Jansen's competing. Koulibaly was the boss. And Sarr has gone over, and Senegal will have a free kick, and the referee is exercising his yellow card for the first time on the night, showing it to Matthijs de Ligt.
It's been a running battle between him and Sarr. Quite often he's come out second best, claiming he got the ball there. Yeah, but it's a challenge from behind. He certainly caught his man as well. So Jansen's just got to get ahead of his man.
Koulibaly played every minute of qualifying for Senegal, as you would expect. He played every minute of the last World Cup. He played 5 times in the Africa Cup of Nations early this year. He scored his penalty in the shootout against the Egyptians. Cisse again looking for Sarr. Van Dijk away, Diallo hurriedly onto it. Berghaus again responsible for the tidying up. Koulibaly. Moving run from Sarr, lifting it up towards Diatta, cleared by Ake, Sabali, Boulaye Dia, Kouyaté, Mendy, Diallo. And when it landed at the feet of Diatta, it did so at the point of maximum inconvenience.
Well, they're really impressing here, Senegal. They get about the pitch so well, get to the ball quickly. And you can see how Sadio Mane in these situations would just add a bit of stardust.
We tick up towards the hour now, and I sense, Alan, that you're starting to glimpse at your list of substitutes, and down beneath us the coaches might be doing likewise.
Yeah.
Mendy. Gone a long way. De Ligt kept it from Boulaïdia. De Jong. Berghuis. Janssen. Dumfries. Denzel Dumfries. Kouyaté got back. De Jong. Berghuis. Steven Berghuis has got a deflection, a kind one, as it turned out, from Koulibaly. It's behind for a corner.
Yeah, got enough on the block. Koulibaly. Again on his left foot, Berghuis didn't hesitate.
And we are going to see Memphis Depay. He can do half an hour's duty, and that is one major point of potential difference. Waiting to take the corner. Before he does so, is that Diallo in that little crowd who is indicating some pain? I think it is.
Yeah, as a four at the back, they've defended so well in tandem. Be a blow to lose him. Looks just like an impact injury.
He appears determined, at least for now, that he can continue. Back post corner. Mendy came and got a knuckle on it. And sufficient distance on it.
Yeah, decisive goalkeeping, which his defenders will be thankful about.
Change on both sides. Ismail Jacobs is a left full back, and that would make sense if Diallo is labouring. Unsurprisingly, it's Janssen who's giving way for the Dutch. And Memphis Depay, upon whose shoulders so many orange hopes are heaped, will get the last half hour. His 82nd cap, he scored 42. Indeed, give way to Jacobs.
I was talking about the stardust that Senegal missed with Sadio Mane. The Netherlands have got their bit of magic on the pitch now. We'll see if that makes a difference.
Much sympathy for the limping Abdou Diallo from Red Bull Leipzig. Had a very good game, or two-thirds of a game at left full back. First time he's played in that position this season. What you can say is that you wouldn't have known. Ake, Dumfries, Bergwijn, Berghuis, Ake, Van Dijk, De Ligt, Diatta, Sabali, Cisse, first touch for Jacobs. Plays his football in Monaco, the new arrival. Born in Cologne, Germany, he won caps for Germany at under-21 level. He's moved now to the French Principality. It's his second season there. Lucas Depay, who's been out of action since sustaining a hamstring injury, playing for the Netherlands against Poland in the Nations League on the 22nd of September. He and Harry Kane were jointly the top scorers in European qualifying for this World Cup, with 12 each. Koulibaly. Koulibaly slithered the pertinent moment. De Jong ran into Mendy. Here's Diatta. Sarr peeling away. Dia ahead of him. It's Boulaye Dia! And Noppert had to plunge at his near post.
Yeah, probably the first bit of meaningful action that Noppert's been called to do. I mean, it's a tight angle, of course it is. But Dia makes a good fist of it and forces a sharp save at the keeper.
Diatta with the resultant corner. With depth and outswing, and Koulibaly's competing for it. Sabali. Diatta. It's gone out. They're not all aware of it yet, they are now.
Sabali giving Diatta too much to do there.
De Jong. And this. Berghaus. Slung out wide here for Blint, who can catch it up. Lifted in by Blint. Out by Cisse. Gakpo. And this has fallen for Denzel Dumfries. Cisse got between man and ball.
And there's a slick bit of football involving Depay in the build-up. Dumfries coming across his man.
Well, this is Bamba Dieng, the Marseille striker, who is about to come on up top for his nation. Cisse, Aliou Cisse, about to change out of choice for the first time in the game. Forced into an alteration in his back four. He is ready to tinker now with the front line. As we head into the final quarter of the game, asking who dares to win it. Berghaus. Something for Gakpo to chase. He won't catch that up. And so now the substitution, and logically enough, it is Boulaye Dia who is giving way, having had his most potentially telling moment of the game with what was more or less his last kick.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot to go at. Dia up top there, been largely dominated by his defenders, and that's been the case up the other end as well so far.
Bamba Dieng was essentially at the Africa Cup of Nations. He played 5 times, but 4 of those were from the bench. His only international goal was in that competition against Cape Verde in the last 16. That has gone over. the referee has immediately permitted treatment. Oh. Well, the contact was one thing. I wonder actually, though, whether also on his way down, Kouyaté might have been wincing too at his body shape.
It's been so combative in the middle of the park, hasn't it? I mean, it has all over the pitch, but it's not been a second to breathe in midfield.
I'm inclined to be concerned here for Sekou Kouyaté because a stretcher has been summoned, and the indications are that the contact here from De Jong is not relevant, painful though it might have been. You see, as he sprung, as he took off, Kouyaté just might have felt something go twang.
Well, I'd be hoping it's not too serious. He lends such a big influence in the middle of the park, Kouyaté, with his experience, his know-how.
Player preparing to replace him here is 23-year-old Pape Gueye, another Marseille-based midfielder for Senegal. He was another frequently off the bench at the Africa Cup of Nations. And that isn't good. That is not good at all. Sekou Kouyaté, a veteran of the last World Cup, a veteran now of 84 international caps, a fundamental part of the qualifying effort. Very much a senior pro, if you like, one of the management team for Senegal. And he departs on what for them is night one on a stretcher.
Well, sometimes it can look worse than it actually is. Senegal will be hoping that's the case.
Before entering the field of play, Pape Gueye is insistent that he should be able to exchange a sympathetic word or two with the man he replaces. The Brazilian referee indicates that there's not really such time for such sentiment. Sabali. Forced back by Blint. Koulibaly. Carried it out of play. De Jong. De Ligt. Dumfries. They showed for it, but couldn't profit from it. And here goes Gueye. And Sarr. Ismaila Sarr has set it here for Idrissa Gana Gueye, who hit it right down the barrel at the goalkeeper, who parried, and then the flag went up.
Well, flag up or not, it's intelligent play from Ismaila Sarr to pick out his teammate. And not out. Although it wouldn't have counted, he'll still enjoy that stop. Yeah, it was more or less straight at him, but he's on his toes.
We have further change here. Chris Jackson is coming on. Attacking midfield player from Villarreal, for whom this is a first international cap. was Diatta, whose place in advanced midfield that he took. Away by Ake. For the first time by Papgay. Sabali. It's been laudably energetic, but ran out of places to go.
Yeah, the game perhaps slowing down a touch as some players feeling the heat, not in a literal sense. It's actually a fairly cool night, isn't it? But it's been such an energetic contest.
Koulibaly. Isakana Gay. There goes Sarr again, turning on the afterburners and worrying De Ligt. Ismail Sarr and Dieng with a snapshot. The ball never really sat comfortably for him.
Now, always a difficult one, this. Sarr wanted the 1-2. And when you just come on the pitch, that's even harder.
Dumfries and Bergwijn. That is rugged and determined defending.
Yeah, brilliant defending that.
Ishmael Jacobs just on. And quickly catching up with the pace of the game. Well, in the whole of the last World Cup in Russia 4 years ago, there was only one goalless draw. France and Denmark. We're a quarter of an hour here away, perhaps, from the first of this year's tournament. But the corner is aimed at De Ligt, down by Ake, out by Koulibaly. De Jong. Berghuis. Memphis Depay.
Yeah, waiting to really get Depay involved in this game.
In by Blint. Dumfries was attacking it. That's not all he attacked.
He's covered some ground. Dumfries up and down that right-hand side.
Hit from Idrissa Gana Gueye, but as you see there were a couple of players who would probably have been judged to be in the goalkeeper's eye line and offside. Dutch, when they have played at World Cups, have a very good recent record in group games. They haven't failed to win one since 2006. Look at that, 11 attempts at goal from Senegal, just 7 from the Netherlands, but a terrible paucity of shots on target. Memphis Depay was wrapped up by Sabali. Since Louis van Gaal retook the reins of the Netherlands, they have scored in every game, 15 games out of 15. Maybe Klaassen might be one of those who felt mildly peeved at not being selected in the original 11.
Yeah, more than capable of popping up with a goal. He's got a happy knack for that.
And he takes the place of Steven Bergwijn. And alongside him, this is Teun Koopmeiners, who will slot into midfield.
Yeah, both coaches looking for the answer from the substitutes bench.
Memphis, no way through. And that is Danny Blint over the shoulder of Louis van Gaal, father, of course, of Daly, and a great international in his time too. One thing that Dutch international setup has always or often done is relish the expertise of those who have gone before, the previous generation. Sabali. Good steal by Koopmeiners, set back by Memphis Depay, on by Klaassen. Substitutes all of them. Suddenly a very fresh-looking Dutch team. Dumfries. De Jong. Dumfries. Outstep the ever-efficient Mendy. And there are 10 minutes to play. If it stays this way, the winners are Ecuador.
Yeah. But at this stage, it's how hard do you push? Do you take a chance at the risk of losing it?
So do you? Should you? Or is this not a bad point?
It's the opening game, isn't it? The point is never a bad one, irrespective of what somebody else has done in the group.
Sarr's off on his way, and Gay has found him. Ismail Sarr again driving at De Ligt as he has the evening long. Sarr has found the yard. Idrissa Gana Gay, Yusuf Sabali. Touch from Jackson, Sabali. Gay. Cisse. In by Jacobs. Up and over by Sarr, who wants a corner, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah, I think he felt there was a little nudge in there, but didn't look like anything near enough for a penalty from Nathan Ake.
Ake going long and direct. Oh, collision on the edge of the penalty area involving Koopmeiners, which has him appealing in vain.
Yeah, all eyes on the ball. One man taking a knock.
The talent that they do have. Driving forward in particular, look at that, Dumfries.
Yeah, he's had a very good game.
Surprising statistic, really, that I've just been given, that they've only touched the ball, the Netherlands, 6 times in Senegal's penalty area since half-time.
They've got so much talent around the pitch, but unusually for the Netherlands, the striking positions are where they do struggle for that bit of magical quality, the kind they've had so often down the years.
Here's Cody Gakpo, though, and he can show a clean pair of heels. Cisse stayed with him. Koopmeiners joins. This is Memphis Depay. He can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Blint. Memphis. De Jong, goalkeeper's come, and Holland lead! The Netherlands! Gakpo is the name! Dutch Footballer of the Year is the Dutch man of the moment.
Well, this is all about the timing of the run. Yes, it's a really poor bit of goalkeeping by Edouard Mendy, but the youngster, he sees his teammate Frankie de Jong on the ball and he just makes that little 5-yard dash. He must think he's going to get absolutely thumped here by the keeper. To his surprise, perhaps he doesn't, and he gets a clean contact. Mendy makes a complete hash of it, but Gakpo, who carries so much potential, has maybe just kick-started his international career big time here with what may be a precious 3 points for the Netherlands.
And it's all gone orange. The Netherlands' first shot on target, 5 minutes out from the end, and it may be the winner. Sarr. Can he invent a way back? Sabali. Jackson. Sabali. Gay. Really found the shaft of light at the near post. And Noppert had to be sharp to meet it.
Yeah, he had to get a hand to it, because if it hadn't have gone in, it'd have hit the post, I think. Full stretch there, the 6'8" keeper.
Sabali. Mendy. Nudged out by Ake. Regathered by Cisse. Another Senegalese corner.
Well, should be a lively finish to this game now.
Papke to take. Ismail Jacob.
It's a decent effort. It's a long way out, but Noppert had to be lively there.
Flicked on by Gakpo. Here is Memphis Depay. Away from Koulibaly. Away from Sabali. Supported by Blint. Cope minus. Gay couldn't keep it. Blint again. Memphis Depay from wide.
Such a teasing cross from de Jong. Doing a little pirouette there for that goal. It was one of those crosses where Mendy, he had to come for it, really. I mean, he was only about 6 yards out, wasn't he, Gakpo? But he just didn't come for it quickly enough.
It is a harsh return on Kalidou Koulibaly and others. But Edgar Davids, and this is Blint and Van Gaal in that dugout, can reach out and touch the points now.
Yeah, this will taste really sweet, because it's been such a hard-fought encounter.
And what it means, in effect, for Senegal, probably, and it's far too early to come to this sort of arithmetical conclusion, and indeed too early, of course, to write off Qatar, but Senegal are probably going to have to beat Ecuador now. That's what it boils down to. That might become the pivotal game. De Jong bobbed over, and that'll do the Dutch just fine. Cody Gakpo, the would-be match winner. 13 goals this season for PSV. That's 3 this season for the Netherlands as well. And Jansen's in no hurry.
Well, got 8 minutes on the board.
There's a long time still to go.
It's a long time. And they haven't done a whole lot wrong tonight, Senegal. They just haven't had a sharp enough cutting edge.
Koulibaly. Cisse. Sabali. Okay, over the top. Chaser here is Dieng. Dieng has hung it up. It's flicked out to Ismail Jacobs.
He's let his opponents off the hook with that one. Plenty of men in support here. He's getting a bit of stick from his teammates for that.
Hard on him. As mentioned in their 2 previous appearances at the World Cup, Senegal have won their opener. This one is ticking away from them. They are a team that has existed on the margins. As mentioned, their Africa Cup of Nations campaign went to the margins repeatedly. Their qualifying campaign went to that penalty shootout. Indeed, at the last World Cup, they became the only nation to be eliminated on fair play or lack of it. And this game at the margins is right now tipping away from them. Sabali. Good reach by Daley Blint. Koulibaly, Jackson, Sabali, Dieng got under it.
Lovely ball into the box. It's not the biggest. Maybe that cross just a touch too high for him. He's backpedaling as well.
And Gakpo's race is run. A triumphant race it may turn out to be as well, and here's why.
Yeah, turns round to find that ball in the net. The biggest moment of his career so far, without a doubt.
Good reason to smile, good reason to feel the embrace of his boss as Martin Derone of Atalanta comes on to see it through to its bright orange conclusion, as they would hope. David Claessen's taken a clatter here. And therefore Nampalys Mendy is taking a card.
He's had a good game. Mendy, really good one. Done so much unsung work at the base of that midfield, and he's unlucky. It's a fraction of a second.
But don't expect Van Dijk to rush here. The clock belongs to the Netherlands. And back towards the corner flag, not unnaturally. Miners would keep it there until dawn. By Van Dijk, and again by Mendy. Idrissa Gana Gueye. Cards out again, and this time it is directed at Idrissa Gana Gueye. And it's getting a bit ragged.
Well, it is, but these loose balls, you can understand Senegal being very keen to win them. This time he's led with his arm. Certainly catching Klaassen.
Enjoying refreshment, enjoying his moment in the limelight, enjoying his maiden World Cup goal.
Yeah, reason to get up off his seat, that one.
The Dutch are back. And since last we saw them globally, they found themselves a new star or two.
It'll be a hard one to take for Senegal because they have put so much into it, but they've got to find a way of troubling the opponent's goalkeeper. Got so much going for them otherwise.
Lynch throw. Steps Gueye. He's lost it to Memphis Depay. Jackson. Cobbs is sold short. Dumfries pounces. Senegal get another clearing free kick as the seconds tick agonisingly away from them. Willy Bally. By Blind, Klaassen, De Jong. Well, one by Koopmeiners, taken up here by Memphis Depay. Klaassen is joining him. Depay's shot. Here comes Klaassen! The Dutch have it! Klaas and Klaassen seal the day.
Well, it's not a decisive goal in terms of the match, I don't think, but decisive, important in terms of their star man, Memphis Depay, playing a part here. And another player, Davy Klaassen, who's more than capable of grabbing a goal or two, shows his poaching instincts there. And the Dutch ending on a high. Probably wasn't going in, Mendy wasn't to know. Klaassen makes sure.
With his 10th international goal, and the one which he will frame and stick on his mantelpiece forever. Last moments of Senegalese desperation. Truth is, it's beyond them. It's over. The Netherlands found the way. They waited till late, but they had the personnel to pounce with a beautifully judged header. Klaassen with an opportunist follow-up. Senegal offered much of muscle, much at times of purpose and would-be penetration, but the moments that mattered were orange moments, and the points that matter are headed to the Netherlands. And the final score at Al Tumama is Senegal 0, the Netherlands 2.
So a night for the Netherlands, eventually. Those 2 goals arriving in the final 6 minutes, but quality shining through in the end for those in orange. And the Netherlands off and running in Group A. In fact, matching the scoreline that we saw last night in the games between Qatar and Ecuador.